Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome your faces back to another video. So I'm talking to you from my office. It's been a long time since I've made a video, and I don't even know what to say about what's been going on past 6 months. You know, it's been absolutely mental what's been going on, and I haven't commented because my life has been super busy. For those who don't know, I mean, this is my new office. I'm just a random geezer from England, middle of nowhere. I'm not telling you where I live. You probably can find me from my face, but you know. Why am I doing this? Because it feels good to vent to someone, even if it's to the ether of nothingness. At least I've said it. At least I've said it, I've logged it, it's out there, it's out in the open. I'm doing this for me, okay? I'm doing this for me, I'm not doing this for anyone else, I'm doing this for me. Because I need to say something. What is going on in the UK? I'm aware the guy on the right was 15 years old at the time. However, 180 hours community service. No prison time. Yet for putting anti-immigration stickers anywhere gives you 24 months in prison. It just seems obscene to me.
This week, a suspected rapist was let out of prison by Keir. I'm not making this up. You'd have seen the news. The first few of 5,500 prisoners who were going to be released between now and the end of October, and he was immediately rearrested on suspicion of rape and sexual assault.
No way! That's fucking crazy, fam. That's fucking crazy, fam. That's fucking crazy. What? What are you doing? Oh my fucking day. Oh my fucking day.
I utterly condemn the far-right thuggery we've seen this weekend. Be in no doubt, those that have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law. The police will be making arrests, individuals will be held on remand, charges will follow, and convictions will follow. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online and then running away themselves. This is not protest. It is organised, violent thuggery, and it has no place on our streets or online.
What is going on? Absolutely madness. Now, why am I saying this? Why am I venting? Because I can, and it's the only thing I can do. I'm not going to do anything, am I? What am I meant to do? What's the plan here? I don't see a plan anywhere. I made a 3-hour long video and I had very few views. Admittedly, it's probably down to me and my poor presentation style. And maybe 3 hours is too long for most people. For a lot of people. Probably not the best. And maybe I could explain it better. All that is entirely true. Possibly true. But I don't think I'm that far off the mark. And I also think one of my problems is I don't have a solution. I'm not here sitting down and thinking I got a solution. I don't have a solution. I'm thinking about this and there's no solution to this. Because no matter which way I turn, it all comes back to the same end conclusion. So let's put an example. We have an economy that is now 100% of its GDP in debt. That's what we have. That's a fact. That's not a subjective science. It's objective fact. It's objective fact. We have 100% of GDP in debt. Now, what do we do with that? Well, if it was me, I'd be looking at this and like, where can I cut? What can I do to minimize our expenses?
We need to cut taxes, reduce spending, and remove the red tape.
Because see, look, okay, my situation is, I've got a house. I just bought a house. I've spent half my fortune on this house, and at the moment I'm looking at this like, okay, now I need to manage my finances better because if I wanted to keep this house, I've got to ensure that I can repay the repayments in a manner which I'm able to comfortably afford. And by comfortably, I mean I'm in a position where if I'm laid off for 6 months, if not a year, God forbid, I can weather the storm. That's the plan. That is the plan. That's objective. Have enough money to cover me for a year's worth of expenses. Now I know roughly it's around £2 grand a month. So make the math. I need to save around 20 grand. That's what I need to save. At the moment, I've below my budget. I'm now in debt. I own a mortgage. In order to pay back this interest, the obligations that I have to pay, I have to stop my spending. I have to cut down, or especially not take on more ventures, or keep spending more money. So what is the UK doing? Well, the opposite. The opposite of what I've just said. Now, the opponents to my argument would say this. They say something on the lines of governments can afford to do that because they can print money. They can borrow money. They've got a limited money potential. I'm sat here like, well, that's not true, is it? There's always a consequence for printing money. There's always a consequence for borrowing money. There's always a consequence. Now, it's true for governments, the impacts can be felt over tens of years, or maybe years. For me, it's almost instant. Within a year, I'm up shit creek without a bloody paddle. You know what I mean? If I don't pay our monthly mortgage payments, how long is it going to take for the bank to get it out of me? Probably not that long in comparison to a government. You can't just, governments have that leverage, I suppose, but it will still happen. It just takes long. It's a longer time frame. So, what do we do about that? How do we hold our politicians, our government to account? What's going on? Because from where I see it, we are selling our kids to slavery. We are increasing monthly obligations to young people in particular, which is for me a bigger crime than doing it on old pensioners. Old pensioners will die off. And that's sad for them, but everyone has to die at some point and leave the world to the next generation. And for me, it's next generation, my kids. My kids will inherit this planet, this world, this earth, this economy, this country. They'll inherit everything I do. And there's a funny thing about inheritance, about the farmers. Again, so many things to talk about, and I haven't even got there. As you see, I've got no structure to this conversation. I'm just spewing my rant because it's been 6 months of not saying anything. I've been for whatever reason, I've been unable to make videos. And I've just been sat here like stewing. Why are we going after the farmers for? What have they done? What have they done? What? I look. I live a very cushy lifestyle compared to farmers. I know I get taxed to bomb, but I don't have a physical demanding job. I'm not a physical demanding person. I don't like physical work. I'm a lazy man. What can I say? I like sitting on a computer coding. I like it. So it's what I enjoy doing. I bread and butter. I like it. I can only do this thanks to farmers ploughing the fields, doing the work, doing the magic they pull off to enable myself and my family to eat in a nice home, have a comfortable lifestyle. It's thanks to farmers, as well as all the engineers and the builders and everything else, and so on and so forth. It all depend on each other. The whole system is interlinked. But the farmers, they're the bread and butter. They're the cornerstone of a functional civilization. Or we're getting rid of them. But anyway, inheritance. What am I doing for my kids? Everything I do is for my kids. So it baffles me when people bang on about house prices. I own a house now. I needed to buy a house because I want kids. 2 and 2 to go together. I want a kid, I want to buy a house and rent. Even then, that's a trade-off. But as long as you invest your money in other things than the property, then you could still pay off the rent requirements. And, well, most likely be able to. But only if you invest. If you don't invest, you're wasting money on whatever else. Then, well, definitely not. But that's a conversation for another day. What I'm talking about now is inheritance. What you're going to leave to your kids. What you're going to, provide for them so that they can have a better life than you. Because that is the whole point of having kids. That is literally the purpose of having kids. What's the point of having kids if you're going to leave them in a squalor or a little ghetto? What is the point? There is no point. There's literally no point having kids if you're going to raise them in a situation where it's complete and absolute hell for them. Now, on one side I agree it's a parent's job to raise their kids properly, but on the other side I also agree that it's society's job to help incentivize good upbringing of kids. And we don't have a system that enables it at the moment. I get taxed to kingdom come, and I'm expected to be thankful for the luxury of being able to do so. I can't afford it. Now, I know maybe some of these articles are just, used to whip up hate. Or, don't know, they call it hate. I'm using leftist wording here, but whip up anger. But it's like, how can someone earn 33 grand a year on benefits? Like, I don't... What? How? I don't mind if it's alimony, right? Alimony, I don't necessarily agree with alimony, right? But I don't necessarily mind it so much as long as it's not the taxpayer paying. Because taxpayers should not be footing the bill for a woman who's unable to work. And this particular woman, she's living in Brighton, earning 2.5 grand, 3 grand a month. Oh, a bit less than that. At least around 2 grand a month it would be. Around 2 grand a month. I don't know. I don't actually know, but it's like 33 grand, 36 grand a year. And I'm like, when I first started work, as a single man, I was earning 16 grand a year. I mean, that's only 6 years ago. It's not that long ago. I know inflation, I get all that, but it's not that long ago. But she's earning 33 grand a year. I mean, last year was only 36. I was on 36 grand last year. And I had 30, and I worked. I rented a miserable place, not an apartment, a miserable room. I did all. I endured the market, the housing market, rental market for 14 years. That's me. I'm the idiot for doing that. But I had what was I meant to do? Like not live anywhere? I don't understand. Like So this is what we put our kids through. And I don't want my kids to go through that for starters. But anyway, 33 grand to do absolutely nothing. Great, wonderful, wonderful. This is the UK for you. My brother, he earns money to do absolutely nothing. And he works on the sly as well. He pays no tax on that. Of course he doesn't. So he gets around 2.5 grand tax free. I'm sitting there like, I'm the idiot. I'm the mug. I'm the mug. Because how did I not figure this out? How did I not figure out a way to not pay tax and get benefits? Like, it's a mug's game. I should be doing that. Absolutely should be doing it. I've got the same genital disorder that he has. Amazing. Amazing. I didn't even think it was an option. That's what I didn't even think it was an option. I didn't think you could just sit on your ass and do nothing and get paid. I didn't think it was an option. I didn't even consider it. That's what I'm like. I didn't even consider that as an option. Like, gee, I thought, no, the way to make money and be successful is to work. But get 33 grand. What, my brother gets 2 grand a month. For what? I got paid £900 a month a few years ago. £900 a month I earned working full time. That was what I earned, man. Half of that went on rent. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so what we do? Go back on topic. The UK, what we're doing to future generations. NIS contributions going up, of course they are. Taxes going up, of course they are. The Labour said they wouldn't raise taxes, but they are by not raising them in line with inflation. Which again, most people don't understand that because they think, you know, inflation again is a tax. It's a tax. It's a tax. Remember that it's a tax. Inflation is a tax.
Inflation is a tax. It reduces your purchasing power over time. If inflation is 5%, but your wages only grow 2%, you have effectively lost 3% of your purchasing power. This is further compounded by increase in tax relative to earnings. For example, a 5% increase on a salary of £50,000 pushes you up to £52,500, which in turn is taxed at 40%.
By the government's own admission has a target of 2%. The government's own admission, the ECB, the American Central Bank, they all had the same target of 2%. They're all in cahoots, mate. 2%. 2% inflation, that's the target. And that's not even measuring CPIH. That's measuring CPI. It's not even measuring housing costs. It's absolutely backwards. Housing costs, if you include housing costs in that, it's like 10% a year.
While it is true that most government agencies support the narrative that the UK inflation is roughly around 2-3% as of November 2024, I do not trust the numbers. I used to spend $50 a week on my weekly shopping, and now it is closer to $100 without alcohol, as I no longer drink. Mortgage rates have risen from around 1% to 4 to 5%, and this would absolutely impact homeowners. Mortgage repayment on a 1% interest rate of a $200,000 house would be $560 a month. At 5%, this increases to $967 a month.
Oh, there's so much to talk about, and I don't understand what the government's doing about it. It's all just empty platitudes. The experts at political speech are very good at it. Very, very smart, very clever, these people. They know what to say and how to say it. But actually doing it doesn't make any bit of difference to my life. It makes it worse. Them being there makes it worse. All I'm asking for is a government doesn't make my life worse. Every time a government comes in, it makes my life worse. I've been in the UK now for 7-8 years, and there's not been a single government, a single policy that I actually agree with, except Brexit, perhaps. And that was, well, wasn't inherently pro-Brexit, but we voted to leave, so we leave. It's not complicated. Like, where I'm from, you vote something, you get what you voted for. More or less, unless the European Union says, we need you to get rid of the guns, man. Otherwise, no trade. And then the government's like, oh, well, we need trade. This is a kind of pickle we are in. We have to abide by the people's. Well, Switzerland aside, God, bless them. Bless them. They're trying to do the right thing by the people, but they can't. They're getting screwed over by Europeans. Of course they are. Classic. That's what happens in history every single time. Don't trust the French. Don't trust the Germans. They're going to ruin you. it's a classic. It's a classic. Anyway, God bless the Swiss. That's all I have to say. They still got guns. They're still keeping, but the Europeans are trying to ban them. Trying to get Switzerland to ban fire guns. Anyway, that's a side tangent. The UK. What is the UK doing? What is the UK doing? None of the policies that are implemented in the past 6 months are going to help any way towards repairing the deficit, any way towards improving relations between the people themselves, and any way, shape or form is going to actually make our lives better in the long run. So what have they done? They increased taxes. They've increased liabilities. They're increasing pensions, benefits, the rest of it, in line with inflation. Minimum wage now is £22,000. Minimum wage is £22,000. And AS contributions have risen. Now, of course, the government's saying, well, it won't impact employees because, it's a tax on businesses and businesses are paying. We pay these politicians hundreds of grands a year just for salaries. And they come up with this drivel. That's what they come up with. Look, I don't mind them being wrong. What I find most annoying is they insulting my intelligence. That's what's the most annoying to me. They're insulting me by thinking I'm stupid. I know you're fiddling the books. I know this is going to impact me. Just be honest about it. If I'm honest about it, I might be on board, but I don't know. I might be on board. But at least let's have a conversation about it. Let's communicate. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation about it. That's what I'm asking for. That's for a conversation. It'd be explained to me like I'm stupid. Why are you doing this? Because maybe I'm missing something. Maybe the government needed to raise taxes. Maybe. I mean, you could argue that it needs to, the elder generation, but I'm thinking to myself, if I was in elder shoes, would I want that? No. I want to see my house crash and burn, so my kids can actually have a bloody house. I don't care about my house. I got it now. Whatever. I'll pay off the bloody mortgage, no matter what it costs, no matter what it takes. But I don't want my kids to go through what I went through. I don't want my kids to have to do what I had to do to get here. I don't want my kids to go through any of this. This is not what... I don't care if my generation takes a hit, if it means that my next of kin has a better life. Because then it's on them then. They've got no excuses. In fact, they've inherited a better civilization, better society, better everything, and they wasted it. That's on them. That's nothing to do with me. I did my best. That's all I want to do. Everyone does their best. Everyone should do their best. But no, we can't have that because we've got to tax you to hell. Look, the young people is the future of this country. I'm annoyed by how much young people are being taxed. If it was up to me, no taxes before 25. Everything you earn before 25 is yours. Entirely, all of it. 100%, 110% of it is yours. You get to own that. That is yours. Which means you want to take risks? Go take risks. Go build your business. Go waste money on a failed enterprise. Go and fail. Go ahead and try and fail. Well, try and succeed. But if you fail, who cares? You're not paying taxes. So go ahead, do it. No barriers to become your own entrepreneur. No barriers to starting your own business. Nothing. No barriers. No nothing. You're at home. You stay at home. Live rent free if you can, and you just start your own business. No taxes. No taxes. Nothing. No taxes. No NIS contribution. No nothing. No nothing until 25. And that way, everyone has incentive to work as hard as they can, invest the money as best they can, to make sure they have a better chance of succeeding in life. Because after that, after you reach 25, assumably you've been somewhat successful at understanding how the money works, how the world works, and you'll be more competent, more able to pay off or pay whatever taxes the government imposes on you. But at least until then, you got at least a chance to succeed. You got 6, 7 years. More if you're lucky. You start early. If you want to, that's what you want to do. You know, I've got nothing against my kids starting off trying to start a business and failing. I've got nothing. If I can, I'll bankroll their failures. In the hopes that they learn something. We can learn together. Because I also want to become my own entrepreneur. Who knows what I'll do. But it's I've got a lot of plans, just too many venues. It's a constant struggle. I've also got bills to pay, so I can't just commit on one thing or the other. I've got to pick a path. But my kid won't have that. They won't have that. Now, you could argue back in the day I didn't. Yeah, but back in the day I was still paying rent. I still had rent to pay. I had no plan B. I don't have parents to bail me out. It's on me. It's all on me. All right, my kids, nah, so it's right. It's not just on you, it's on me as well. We're doing this together. We're doing this together, mate. We're going to build each other up. And all I want to do is see you succeed. And that's what the government should be like. All I want to do is see my people succeed. Whatever they want to do, allow them to succeed. We spend around £450 billion on welfare every year. £450 billion. Gone. Never see it again. That money you give the welfare recipient, you're never going to see returns on that. Never. The money I give to my kids, returns will be immense. Because I'm the one making sure the money's well spent. Yeah, I'm not paying for him to do nothing. I'm paying for him to invest in his future, in himself, into learning how to code, learning how to build computer, learning how to build cars, whatever it is that my son or my daughter wants to do. I don't mind bankrolling them. It means that there's a hope in hell that they'll be able to be free from doing what I had to do. 14 years of renting. I paid like 100 grand, more than that, probably, in rent. Wasted money. And now everyone's doing, and that's not a unique story. Everyone's doing it, and I reckon a lot of people are paying more than that. No, my mate's paying. He's got 2 kids. He's paying £1,500 a month rent. Rent. Obviously with bills, but rent. Now, I'm not trying to be smug or anything like that. I think it's shocking. Personally. I think it's absolutely shocking. You know, it's absolutely shocking that he penalises these young people who've got families, who've got kids. They're both hard-working people. And they're paying £1,500 a month rent. One of my goals this year is to raise enough money so I can give him a 10 grand deposit for a house. That's my goal. It's a big goal, big commitment. But I find it very sad that these people are paying £1,500 a month rent when they've got kids. That's the price of my mortgage and bills, mate. That's what I pay for my mortgage and bills. But I got a house. He's paying rent. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't care what people say. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And the things you pay for don't get your money's worth. Of course you don't. You don't get your money's worth. So now the capitalist in me says he made his choices. Yeah, but it's not much of a choice, though, is it? He chose. His fault was to have kids. We penalise this guy because he's got kids. But we bankroll every other sunny gym that crosses our borders. And they can be free housing, free this, free that and the other. Better healthcare for them. At the cost of billions of pounds a day. I think to myself, my money I pay in tax doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. But if I didn't pay the government would notice it. I have no impact on the well-being of England. None. I can have an impact on the well-being of those around me. And that is the fundamental of my philosophy. I don't believe the government should be ruling us. I think we should be ruling the government. holding them to account for what they're doing. Because at the moment, we're imprisoning good old men who voice out an unpopular opinion. We incentivize the suicides of farmers. I'm not one to... All I'm saying is this. It's wrong. I don't need to be a Jesus believer or God follower. I don't need to be a religious person to know that's wrong. I don't need to be a global elite, metropolitan, whatever, live in a city and believe in wokeism to know that's wrong. It's wrong to have policies that cause so much pressure that a farmer is willing to do the unspeakable. And of course the elite will shrug it off. Don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They want it. They want more solar panels. They want that land to be bought up by multinational, multi-corporations. Because they work in lockstep with them. They want that. It's desirable for them. It suits everything. It ticks every single one of their boxes. Who cares if the casualties in the way? Who cares about the casualties? And if I'm not mistaken, they've also cancelled the subsidies for farmers.
As of 2025, the average salary for farmers was £29,500 a year. The average weekly hours was 45 hours. At times, it is known that some farmers may work over 100 hours a week. The average farm owner wage was just over £12,500 per year. Farmers may be asset-rich but very cash-poor. They are very vulnerable to tax increases, even if it is through inheritance tax, which may result in farmers having to sell large swaths of land owned by the farmer's family for generations, to foot the tax bill.
Wow. God bless. God bless us all, man. It's tough. It's tough out there, and it's not even been 6 months. So what are we doing in the UK? What are we doing? Keir Starmer, if you're watching this, what are you doing? Have some heart, man. I know you're totalitarian. I know you're a communist. I know you feel you have the power and you think it's righteous what you're doing. But these are human lives you're talking about. We're just humans after all. Believe it or not. I know it's shocking. It's shocking to understand and relate to us. But we are just humans. You cannot take credit for inflation going down. Even then, it's going back up again. Have you not noticed? It's going back up again. None of this is the benefit of the working man. Not a single bit of it is in the benefit of the working man. The brain dead among us will say, "Oh, increase in minimum wage is very good." I said, I don't know if I said it in this video. Well, maybe last video, sorry. But I'll say it now. In 20 years' time, we'll all be earning 50k. And everyone will be paying the top rate of tax. That's what's going to happen. The government's never going to change that. They want it. It's imminently desirable. Because if you freeze tax bands, you get more money. You get more money. That's how it works. You don't raise the tax bands. You cause inflation to rise above 5-6%. People are going to, and it cause wage growth to probably lag behind inflation, but still eventually means that everyone will be earning about 50 grand. It makes it look good on paper. Look, you guys have got earning 50 grand a year, the average salary. Ooh, happy day, hey. And everyone will be taxed. That means more government, more money for the government. The government loves that. Yes, tax. In this country, you're taxed and everything. Corporation tax, NIS tax, council tax, VAT tax, fuel tax, car tax, road tax, taxes galore. Like, it's almost like not, I reckon 50 to 60, 65% of my expenses is tax. It's just tax. Tax, 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 tax. Everything. Now, one thing I've got to thank the government for is thank you, my darlings, for not having me imposing stamp duty tax, because that's one thing that would have actually hurt me quite a bit. Thank you, darlings. Thank you. I thank you for your forgiveness and your graciousness. Thank you, Your Highness, for not making me pay stamp duty, because that would have actually hurt me. Believe it or not, everything else hurts me, but that would hurt me more. Or I've also, I don't think people understand this, when you get a mortgage out, 90% of what you pay originally is interest. Interest! So I'm paying, I don't know, around £1,000 a month. £900 of it is just pure interest. I only pay £100 back a month in capital. So I haven't saved any money. It's pure, unadulterated interest. It's for the banks. The banks get the money, get the free money. The banks get interest, £900 a month interest. They make money. Money on this. It's incredible. Mental. How much, like, I'm not even mad if a bobber comes in and steals a TV anymore, because that's not the biggest cost of my life. It's not worth it anymore. Worth me worrying about a thief coming in and stealing my TV. Well, it's not even worth anything, but you know, I'm not even mad about it. Interest. So the banks and the government were cahoots. And in some ways, the banks got the government in over the barrel, because we need the banks to survive. Thanks to someone called Margaret Thatcher. Manufacturing industry is dead. The only thing keeping us alive is the banks. That's the extent of our economy. Banks. Banks. We've gambled on banks. Banks, 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 banks. Oh, I'm sure the average Joe is going to relish that. So the options are for a young person these days, it's banks, retail, or pharmaceutical companies perhaps, insurance, services basically. There's not much manufacturing, not many steelworks, not much coal mines, no, nothing like that. And renewable energy, of course. Of course, that's going to be another big one. Not much value-adding industries. Is there? Is it really? And all this talk about, you know, levelling up the north. I'm in the north. I don't see much levelling up. There is some good news I've learnt recently. They are making the first of its kind tram network in Coventry. Opening up next March. That is good news. And I might actually go down and see it. First of its kind. I want to discuss more about why do we dismantle our trams, because Leeds had it once, and I think many other cities across the north had it, but apparently it's not very economical. I never thought it like that. I would assume it would be profitable because of how many people can go on a tram compared to cars, and you can have multiple trams. I mean, I don't know. It seems weird that that's the argument, but apparently with this new solution, that's not a concern anymore. I don't know. That's one question. That's one thing that two people have told me it's not economical to have trams in cities. Two people, not just one person. I always assume because I went out Germany. You go to Germany, there's trams everywhere. There's trams galore. There's trams galore. You go to Germany, trams. There's tram everywhere. We used to have trams. We got rid of them. You got a city of 800,000 people. There's congestion galore. If you go to Leeds in the mornings. And I mean, imagine a tram network from where I live to Leeds. Would ever be. There's a train, but you know, trains. You want to take trains? Trains are rubbish. Slow, outdated. I go, no, that's another thing about trains. You know, from here to Leeds, London used to cost around, I don't know, 20 quid. Now it's like 60, 70 quid. Well, I guess that's it. I'm never going to London again. That's it. That's the answer. I just take the bus. You know, I'm never going to London again. It's too far. It's too expensive. Like, why would I pay more than half my day's salary to go to London? What? What in God's name possessed people to make the prices that high? Who's paying for this? And these drivers want 80 grand a year. Like, why? I don't use these trams. I don't use these trains. I don't, like, at this point I might as well get a car. Like, I might as well have a car. You know, if you want to be, I never used to own a car. And I used to love to go to the Peak District. Because why not? You can't do that with a car, apparently. It takes you bloody ages. Bleeding ages to get anywhere in this country. Bleeding any ages. And it's like, and then you got to account for delays. You're never going to get there. You're going to take a 2-day trip to get anywhere. Just like, yeah, well, I guess a car is the only way, isn't it, really? So, yeah, this country, man, it makes all the wrong decisions. All the wrong reasons. Now, Keir Starmer, the only way to do this, solve this, is release your grip on power, man. Release, just, who cares if a man calls a woman a man, or a woman calls a man a woman? I don't, like, who really cares? Now, I know you got some of your group that do care, but it's a fundamental minority. You're going to tyrannize the whole population based on minority? Really? Doesn't seem fair, does it? How about we agree to live and let live? How about it be that I don't do anything to you, you don't do anything to me. I leave you alone, you leave me alone. How about those apples? Because that seems good to me, to be honest. I want nothing to do with you. I've got to be honest, I want nothing to do with you. I want nothing to do with you. I don't want you paying £1,000 a month tax. It shocks me because I pay more in tax now than I used to earn in a whole year. That's when I realised, man, what's happening here? Why am I paying more in taxes than I used to make in my entire year? Basically, you're penalising competence. You're penalising those who actually made it somewhere. Now, I don't mind paying for other people insofar as it's voluntary. You know, I do that quite a bit. I do, I volunteer. I donate some money to charities. I always do that. And I do it based on the merit. If my charity I'm investing didn't demonstrate that they needed that money or they could putting it to good use, I'll withdraw funding. Similar fashion, I would stop investing in or giving people money that I don't, if people don't deserve it. I don't know. I'm not going to name names, but I don't think my own family deserve money. My biological father, he's 25 years on the dole, doing nothing. I'm sitting myself like, why is the government putting out with this? Why are we paying him money? Why are we, like, He was bragging to me the other day about how he got away with not paying taxes. So he never paid tax in his life, and now he claims for 25 years taxes. I'm saying to myself, how the hell? I didn't even think that was an option. I didn't even think it was an option. Why are we putting that as an option to people? Like, I understand it as a measure of safety. I understand the safety net. I understand that you need, but I have no safety net. If I lose my job tomorrow, no one will give me any money. No one will give me any money. Actually, no, they won't. No, they won't. No, they won't. Absolutely won't. No, I'm deemed too rich to get any money, despite the fact I'm paying more than £2,000 a month tax. I'm deemed too rich. So what am I paying £2,000 a month for? I pay more in tax than my mortgage and bills. That to me is insane. It's insane. I never considered it that way, and then realised when I actually started making this money, it was risky. I could lose my job tomorrow. I could actually lose my job. I could be fired like this. Gone. Adios. Now, I don't mind that. It's beneficial for me because I earn more money, but at the same time, I'm paying more taxes, despite the fact it's more risky. The government takes none of my risk. I get none of the perks, really. Because I lose my job, I get nothing from the government. I'm left destitute. I can lose my home. I can lose my house. And because I'm a sensible man, I'm spending next year or so saving up enough money so I can withstand a year unemployment. So basically, I'm being sensible, and other people aren't. Yeah, I know I'm being penalised because I'm invariably paying for everyone else. Because ultimately, I'm not taking money out of you. I'm a good boy. I've been ingrained in me, young age, to not take money from the government. But what I was never told is you'll always be paying the government, always paying for those people who don't make the same choices as me. I'm not saying I'm not lucky or fortunate. I am. I'm in good health. That's a bonus. I've got a brain. That's a bonus. I are good with numbers. That's a bonus. I'm young still. That's a big bonus. I haven't got kids yet, and that could also be considered a bonus. There's no liabilities. I don't have to worry of making sure my kids are set up for the future yet. But our plan is to have kids. But at the moment, I'm looking at like my bills are going to increase every year to the day I die, and the government's doing nothing about it except make it worse. Will my salary increase? I can't see that far in the future. And I don't see the trend as being any positive. We've had like 25 years of stagnation. That's my entire life, pretty much. Minus 5 years. That's pretty much my entire life. Where we've just seen the UK just stagnant. The Tories printed how much? 1/3 of all pounds ever in circulation was printed in 2 years. And they claim they're right wing.
A small correction to note. The Tories did not print 1/3 of all pounds in existence during COVID. That narrative was mistaken from the Americans, who printed 1/3 of all dollars during COVID, between January 2020 and October 2021 to be exact, and not Britain. This is largely due to the pound being much older than the American dollar.
I wish Keir the best of luck. I don't think she's going to get anywhere. I will never vote Tory, but then I will never vote Reform either. I don't think Reform's got it in them to do anything. I think there's just a protest vote at this point. I don't know who to vote for. I don't know who to go for. I don't know, and I think that's Labour's win fundamentally. We'll have a Labour Party leader for the next 20 years, it's right, because there is no alternative. You think Nigel Farage actually going to do anything? No. He said openly he's not going to do anything. Openly, not going to, and I, you know. Now, what you could argue is he's lying to get into power, and then, you know, but don't know. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Because I was asked that question on TV the other day. But he gave no actual response back. It's about Trump. Yeah, but okay, I don't mind Trump, but he's not British. He's American. He's America. He's over there, beyond the seas. What's he got to do with this? Now, there is another thing I want to say. There is potentially a way that Trump could help the UK. Now, it does depend if Trump is a real friend of the UK or not, isn't it? I think he's already said no trade with the UK until Mr. Lammy's gone. Good. Based. I like that. But I'd want to see him, I don't know, yeah, the most unpopular leader in England. Despite that, he's acting like a bloody tyrant. What a mess. What could Trump do to force an election in the UK? So if that was me, the White House, I'd want another ally I can count on. If he does anything that makes my life better, I'm with this guy till the day I die. Because at the moment I'm not seeing a way out. I'm not seeing a way out. I'm seeing us being governed by by Nazis, pretty much, who have no qualms arresting people, no qualms demonizing people, no qualms letting people go if it suits a narrative, no qualms imprisoning people who hate speech, but no qualms letting people who have actually committed actual crimes go. Even Elon Musk tweeted about this. Obviously now he's he used to be loved by everyone, now he's hated by everyone. I just don't understand how people think. Like, let's talk Donald Trump, okay? Because I think he's an easy case study, easy person to target, and there's no repercussion on me if I insult him. If I insult Keir Starmer, I might get a knock on the door. That's the difference between those two people. I'm scared of Keir Starmer. I'm not scared of Trump. Well, but I'm not scared of Boris Johnson either. I'd be able to insult Boris Johnson and not be worried I'd get a knock on the door. If I insult Keir Starmer, I'm gonna be worried for my own livelihood. I have to be, because he's a totalitarian. Donald Trump isn't. I'm not worried if I call him a fascist or the C word or any other name in the sun. Nothing's gonna happen to me. He's not gonna care. But Keir Starmer will care. But I wouldn't mind saying about Boris Johnson either. If Boris Johnson was, I'd still say he was a bit of a prick when he was in power, wasn't he? But I actually do like Boris Johnson. It's a bit odd I can't really insult a guy I actually quite like. Even though he's a bit of an inept leader. What do you do? To print money to oblivion. You can blame Sunak for that, are you? Yeah, well, you're probably half right, but probably half wrong too, so there you go. Let's talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump, is he a fascist? No. As far as I can tell, he's not a fascist. Nothing. And I've been looking for this. I've actually been looking for arguments, clear evidence he's a fascist. And all I get is rhetoric. All I get is rhetoric. Now, before he became president the first time, I didn't like Donald Trump. I was actually more on the, I didn't really care about neither Hillary Clinton, but I was more on Hillary Clinton's side than Donald Trump. Because am I really going to be voting for a guy who said that term, whatever. He's a rambunctious American. Don't really like the guy. I am part of the elite. I am part of the metropolitan middle class elite. That's who I am. That's what I am. That's what I was like. That's what I thought. So back then, back in whatever year that is, I didn't like Donald Trump. Didn't like him. And then someone called him a fascist. And that's when I was like, eh? Okay, racism, fine. Maybe. I don't know too much about it, but I accept it as a premise. What other things, fine, whatever. He's a whatever. But fascism. That's the time when I was like, is he though? Is he a fascist? That's when I started questioning things. And the so-called anti-fascists threatened to bomb Saga Akkad's speech about British values up in Scarborough way back when. No, well, that was the point when it clicked. These people aren't anti-fascists. They call themselves that as a scapegoat, as a curtain. But they're the fascists. Because I was neither on either side. I was just like, I'm not British, really. I don't feel British. I don't feel Swiss. I don't feel like anything. I don't feel. I feel potentially European. I don't belong to any group. I don't really care about Britain. As far as I'm concerned, Britain's going down the drain. What has Britain done for me? I mean, except call me a white privileged white male. I don't know. Nothing. So why would I care about Britain? So there you go. I don't really care about Scotland. Scotland will become independent. Go ahead, be independent. If you give me the vote, I'd vote to kick them out because I don't want to hear any more of this socialist nonsense. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear it. Scottish Nationalist Party. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we Socialist National Party. Yeah, Yeah, I see. Don't want it. Don't want it. It's just no. Now, if you want that, Scotland, go ahead. Have S&P. I don't care. I don't want to hear any more of it. You voted to remain, begrudgingly. I didn't agree with that vote. I never say in it though, did I? If I was me, I would have voted to kick him out. Like, if you don't know history, we are in union with Scotland.
The Acts of Union, passed by the English and Scottish parliaments in 1707, led to the creation of a united kingdom to be called Great Britain on the 1st of May of that year. The UK Parliament met for the first time in October 1707. This is the culmination of a century-old union between England and Scotland. From 1603, England and Scotland were joined in a loose union known as the Union of the Crowns, where they shared a monarch. The death of Elizabeth I of England without any heirs meant that the English Tudor dynasty came to an end. Her nearest relatives, as members of the Stuart dynasty of Scotland, assumed the thrones of England and Ireland as well. England, however, still enjoyed the bulk of the monarch's attention and decided on waging foreign policy more in the favor of England. For example, when England went to war against the Dutch Republic 3 times between the 1650s and 1670s, the decision ignored the fact that the Dutch was a major trading partner of Scotland. While Scotland was forced to participate in wars against England's rivals, Scotland was excluded from the commercial benefits of the developing English Empire, as the Navigation Acts, passed in the second half of the 17th century, stipulated that England's colonies in North America and the West Indies could only trade with England to the exclusion of the Scots and the Irish. While Scotland sought to separate from this union, it sorely lacked the political capital, most notably due to the Scottish economy being in poor shape in the 1690s and a failed colonization scheme. In 1701, the English Parliament passed the Act of Settlement, which stipulated that in the event of the death of Anne, the last remaining Protestant heir of James VII and II, England would implement the Hanoverian succession. In the years that followed, Scotland could play upon England's fear of the Jacobite threat. In the English imagination, there could be no greater threat than that Scotland might welcome back the Catholic Stuart line and reforge her ancient alliance with France. The Act of Security stipulated that Scotland was not bound to support England's choice of a successor to Queen Anne. And the Act of Peace and War stated that following the death of Queen and Scotland would retake control of her own foreign policy. The English responded by passing the Alien Act, which stipulated that Scots would be considered as aliens in England. In this manner, Scotland would be forbidden to trade with, or in England. This forced Scotland to negotiate for a union. By January 1707, the Scottish Parliament had voted itself out of existence.
Maybe it's about time we renegade on those promises. But I've got nothing against the Scots personally. I like Scotland. I love Scotland. Scotland's an amazing country. You've got a beautiful country up there. Inverness. What's it called? Thor. Oh, I call it Thor. It's Thur. Northernmost point of Scotland. Beautiful part of the country. I did the whole round trip. Been there a number of times. Like the Scottish accent. I've not met a single bad Scottish person. Yeah, overall good people, as far as I can tell. Except the guy in power who's hates white people and who's a socialist.
That 99% of the meetings I go to, I'm the only non-white person in the room. But why are we so surprised when the most senior positions in Scotland are filled almost exclusively by those who are white? Take my portfolio alone. The Lord President, white. The Lord Justice Clerk, white. Every High Court judge, white. The Lord Advocate, white. The Solicitor General, white. The Chief Constable, white. Every Deputy Chief Constable, white. Every Assistant Chief Constable, white. The Head of the Law Society, white. The Head of the Faculty of Advocates, white. Every Prison Governor, white. And not just Justice. The Chief Medical Officer, white. The Chief Nursing Officer, white. The Chief Veterinary Officer, white. The Chief Social Work Advisor, white. Almost every trade union in this country headed by people who are white. In the Scottish Government, every Director General is white. Every chair of every public body is white. That is not good enough.
I don't like socialists. Sorry, my biases take over when it comes to that. Anyway, what was I talking about now? Donald Trump. Oh yeah, Donald Trump and the fascists threatening to bomb Scarborough venue. Because I paid money to go see that. And I didn't really care about it. I just like, well, you know what, it'll be a fun day out. I might meet some people, who knows. Might be fun. And I'll get to see their perspective. It got cancelled. I was super pissed because I paid money for that. I paid a lot of money for that. Back then, I was on £900 a month. So me spending 30, 40 quid on a ticket in Scarborough of all places. I lived down in Brighton, so I had to. I booked the train ticket, I took time off work, the whole shebang. It got cancelled. I will never forget that. I gotta be honest. I'll never forget it. It's like, that's annoying. That's actually annoying me. I think I got money back for the tickets, but still, that's still annoying. I committed to a day off. I paid my travel. That's not being refunded. I paid the hotel. That's not being refunded. None of that's being refunded. Like, you've annoyed me. I wasn't earning much money. I was going to go see it because I wanted to go. I was interested in ideas, and it got cancelled. So I still don't know what British values mean. I've no idea. Still, I'm stuck here. Like, I don't know what British values mean. What is it? I don't know. Is it? I'm not going to say it online, but I think you guys know where I'm going with this. Is it this bit here, or is it this bit here? Or is it what? What is a British value? I'm interested. I want to know. Why can't people talk about it? And I know we had a gathering in London, but I don't know. Is that what British values are? Is it that? I don't know. And neither do I really. Well, I am curious. I'm curious to see what the national topic, what people think nationally. What does it mean to be British? Is it socialism? Do we ban private property? Is that what we're doing? Do we just have no culture at all? Do we close all the pubs, close everywhere that people speak? Is that a British cultural thing, a British value? Is that it? I generally don't know, because the trend is not looking very good. Do we allow other nefarious actors to keep getting away with it? Is that what we do? Is that our British value? Is that it? I don't know what British value is anymore. I don't know. I'm just asking the question. I think it's worthwhile asking the question, so hopefully we'll get an answer. So, Mr. Donald Trump, yeah, he's not a fascist though, is he? He could be all these other things, not a fascist. And his first term of presidency, I don't think he's done. Well, I mean, what did he do that bad? What did he actually do? He had more people. You know, if we're going to go play on the leftist rule book, he had more people, colored people in work than any other administration. Because he was growing under Donald Trump. And no war. He didn't go to war with any other country. So it means Britain wasn't involved in a war either. Which is a win for me. So I thank Donald Trump for that, and I'm thankful that he's also another president this time around, because again, it most likely mean we'll see an end to these conflicts finally, and I'll go back to normal, or some kind of normal. That is my hope. But I do fear that he's against the powers that be that want constant warfare. What is interesting though is that both the UK and the USA have changed their military recruitment adverts to show more men and cater less to the touchy feelings LGBTQ+ brigade.
I grew up with brothers and I'd always played sports, but I still thought the army was dominated by men and it wasn't for me. I decided to get a normal job. Men at work would often talk over me. I felt like I didn't have a voice. So I decided to go for it and I joined the army. It was totally different. All that matters is you're good at your job. I recently commissioned as an officer and now I lead a team of 30 women and men. It feels good to finally have my voice heard.
Growing up, I really had my heart set on joining the army. My brother was out in Afghanistan. Hearing his experiences, that's when I knew I wanted to join as a medic. I was really worried about whether I'd be accepted, but within days I was more than confident about being who I was. I'm not afraid to talk about having a boyfriend. I thought I'd have to hide it, but once you've done it, you think, well, why did I make it such a big thing for so long?
Faith has always been a part of who I am. Daily prayers were a huge part of family life. But growing up, it got harder. Many jobs wouldn't give you a chance to pray. When I joined the army, I was worried it would be worse. But the army embraces the fact that you come from a different faith. Even on exercise, there's always a quiet moment to go into a cabin and just sort of find a little corner and do your prayers there. Yeah, the lads will go out of the way to sort of make sure that I'm happy, part of the team, all that sort of stuff. My faith is such a part of me. That doesn't change when I put on a uniform.
I love the idea of the army. Being a barman, my fitness was next to nothing. I kind of thought everyone's going to be a super fit machine. Started off slow because obviously I was unfit. It was a struggle. But everyone in your troop helps out. I can safely say I'm fitter than I ever was. I'll always remember those lads that helped me from day one.
Man up. Grow up here. It feels like as a man, you can never express your emotions. I thought joining the army would be 1,000 times worse. That any sign of emotion would be a sign of weakness. That I would have it ripped out of us. But once you're in, you realise no one is a machine. The army is family. I've probably told them things I wouldn't even tell my own family. There's always someone there to talk to, or even just make you laugh.
That's find that interesting. I still wouldn't join. And I still never advocate for anyone joining the British military. No, absolutely not. Why would you fight for? Why would you fight for Keir Starmer? He doesn't care about you. Doesn't care about you. Why would you go join the British Army? Why? If you're the British Army now watching this, why you? Why? Why are you there? Like, I can understand Americans joining under President Trump. That makes more sense. But having anyone joining because of Keir Starmer? Just leave, man. Leave. Get out of there while you can, man. You know, if you're part of the police force, what are you doing? Get out of the police force. Just get out. What are you doing knocking on people's doors for hate speech? Calling a woman a lesbian. An autistic young girl, calling her out for being a lesbian. Or looking like a lesbian. Or looking like a lesbian grandma. It wasn't even meant as an insult. I mean, it's shocking. That should never happen. Should never be a thing. It's not a mistake. That's not a mistake. That's just abuse of power. And that just demonstrates the absolute temerity, the gall these people have. Do we have justice in this country at all? Is the judiciary completely compromised with the wokeist nonsense? That want to see ordinary people being locked up for things they've said, like what I'm doing right now? We live in a very dangerous time in the UK. We can't say anything. You've got to be very careful what you say. You can't say anything. But so the poster back there, you're going to pay a price for everything you do and everything you don't do. You don't get to choose to not pay a price. You get to choose which poison you're going to take. That's it. And that's why I will say it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm happy to own up to it. But I will say it. Because I'm tired of this. I'm tired of these shenanigans. I'm tired of being told that I'm a privileged white male. I'm tired of being told that everyone you don't like is a fascist. Fascism has no meaning anymore. I mean, we live under Nazism. It's as far as I can tell, we live under Nazism. Massive corporations get a free pass. Everyone else gets the boot. Small business owners, that sucks to be you. They'll be poor, bro. Get rich, bro. Sucks to be you, innit? Small, medium-sized businesses get lumped with higher taxes. Corporations get away with it because they can. It's got big mates in power. They're going to close loopholes. You insane? I hope this changes, and I hope my kid has a better life than me. I have a good life at the moment, but it could get a lot worse very quickly. And I hope my kids, if I can provide my kids a better life than me. Less stress, less financial pressures, less worries, so they can enjoy living. Because life is for living. It shouldn't just be for surviving. I don't like this pitting everyone against each other. Just for saying an opinion that you don't like. There shouldn't be any left and right. I think we're a lot more in common than you think, but we can't talk about it because, if I say anything that my friends won't like me, I'll be kicked out of their friends group and I don't even have my friends. Or if I dare say something like this, I'll lose my job. True, probably, yeah, possibly. I'd just rather not see my world burn. That for me is the poison. To me, I don't mind drinking the poison myself. It means I die, but I die miserable. My kids remain happy. I have a chance to be happy. Chance to be successful. Have a chance to have a decent life. I don't mind taking the hit. If it means that I break the chain. The chain's broken, and my kids can finally live a decent life. It's all I can do. What other purpose do I have in life other than just to drink myself to death? Might as well use this time for good, as I see it. By hoping to leave behind a tomorrow that is better. And what annoys me is I'm deemed a bad guy for thinking about avoiding inheritance tax. Because I don't want to work my entire life to see the government just snatch it away from my kids. Because the whole purpose of me doing what I'm doing is for them. That's literally why I exist. This is why I'm here. If I didn't have that purpose, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't care. It annoys me because it's the only reason why I'm doing it. Literally the only reason. There's no reason why I get out in the morning to do what I'm doing. There's no reason why I get out in the morning to work, to study, to code, to do whatever. There's no other reason other than to make their lives better. My money is their money. It's always been theirs. Every time I spend money, I'm stealing money from them. Because I could invest that money. But no, you're going to pay capital gains tax on that. Naughty boy, you're going to pay capital gains tax on that. You can't be saving for your future, mate. You got to be paying now. Everything you do in this country is tax. You can't get away with anything. You just cannot. And my soul is being slowly eroded by it. I feel dead. I feel slightly dead inside. I wake up in the morning. I'm like, what do I do now? Like, if I work harder, I get taxed. If I take risks, I get taxed. If I do nothing, I get taxed. I mean, everything is tax. Like, it's just ridiculous. And that level of taxation, the level of shenanigans that go on. I can't even park the money in an investment account. I can't even do that. I'm going to put ISAs, you may not get the best returns. But I have got that. But yeah, that's risky. That's risky. I can't pick and choose my investments without being taxed. It's ridiculous. I should be able to. I might have already been taxed. It's not like life-changing money. It's for my kids. It's not for me. It's my kids. I'm never going to touch that money. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to take money out to pay taxes. I don't even use that money. I don't benefit from that money at all. Like, it's just there. I could lose it tomorrow. Like, it's called investment for a reason. And the argument is you're not taking money out. Yeah, but I do. It's weird. Eventually, it's automatic, isn't it? You get taxed on capital gains. You get taxed on capital gains as well. See, another thing that you get taxed on. The government does not like anyone becoming rich. It doesn't mind the rich or existing rich. It doesn't want anyone becoming rich. That's a problem for them. They want to better control you. Every single one of you. Anyway. Sorry for the rant, guys. I just needed to say something, and I'm sure there's more to come. But Keir Starmer, if you're reading this, just have some humanity about you. Right. That's me. Out.